Hello and welcome. I'm Ozarks first Tom Schmidt,
And I'm Tom Turton.
and this is Talking with Tom. Tom, good morning.
Good morning, Tom. And how are you?
Good.
Good.
Had a good weekend. It was awfully hot.
Yeah, it was still a great weekend. I took a nap.
Oh, good. Okay.
That was the highlight of my weekend.
Found some napping weather for you. That's nice.
Yeah, it was an accidental nap, but usually accidental naps are the ones that you really need.
Yeah, they
You
are.
blink your eyes and you find it's 2 hours later all of a sudden.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Or like what you were saying, that you fell asleep on your couch or your chair.
The recliner.
You just kind of sat down, woke up 2 hours later, and you're like, oh my gosh, what happened?
Yeah, because I was watching something on television, and when I woke up, it's like, I've missed a chunk of this movie. What time is? Oh my gosh!
Oh yeah.
And it was 2 hours later.
Yeah. Kind of wild when that happens.
Yeah, when you stay up too late the night before, and you have to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, yeah, you can be pretty tired. And so I sat down, had a little bit to eat, and blinked my eyes, and that blink was a 2 hour blink.
That was the end of it.
Yep.
Out and back. Well, it was a hot weekend also this weekend.
Yeah.
Did you know that we reached our warmest temperature of the year so far? Saturday?
No, but I know you had talked about the possibilities of reaching some record highs. So we tied it, or did we beat it?
We got to 98. So that was the beat it. We got to the hottest temperature
There it
of
is.
the year so far, 98 degrees.
Okay,
Yep.
that's all right.
That was on Saturday.
Going for them records.
Yeah, exactly. And I was talking to our creative services guy, George.
Yeah.
And he was doing a bunch of yard work, cleaning brush, and had some burn piles going
Uh-huh.
on the hottest day of the year.
Yeah.
But he was saying that the humidity wasn't that bad, so it was actually more of a tolerable heat.
It was because I was doing work that day too.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I put an umbrella up on my patio. and
Good time to do it.
and the nice thing about Saturday, not only was it drier, there was a nice breeze going.
Yeah.
So if you got under, shade like your new umbrella, it was kind of nice.
It would be. That's all it takes, right?
Uh-huh.
Well, it was hot. It's summertime. And Tom,
Yeah.
you're the one that pointed this out to me.
Yes.
But the summer weather is actually more favorable for hitting farther baseballs.
It can be.
It can be under certain conditions.
Yes.
And most people might get this backwards, but what are the most favorable conditions?
Well, the most favorable conditions actually are hot and humid. A lot of people, when they feel humidity, they go, oh, the air is heavy. And so you think it's more dense. And so therefore, they imagine like if you hit a baseball, it's going to be picking up water and weigh it down. And so it won't fly as far. The truth of the matter is when it is more humid, the air is less dense and the ball will actually fly farther. Golf, whatever kind of projectile you're throwing through the air, it can get more distance, if it's very humid out.
Yeah, it's not something you'd normally think of. And so conversely, if it's cold and dry, your ball's not going to go as far.
Yeah. The reason is, of course, water vapor weighs less than oxygen. And it's good that it does, because if it didn't, we'd be underwater most of the time. But you have to have that water vapor that rises, and that helps form the clouds and makes rain and all of that. If the vapor didn't rise, you'd have it all at the surface, and then again, we'd be underwater after a while.
Yeah, it's not what you'd think about. It's kind of counterintuitive. One of those other weather facts.
Yeah.
Where you just it goes against what you'd think would be common sense. Hot and
So
humid.
a hot and humid day, that's the time to hit the ball or throw the ball or kick the ball, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
It will go farther.
Yeah.
Now, that doesn't mean it's going to go 100 yards farther.
No.
But
No.
you'll still get more distance, actually.
Just just a little bit further is all it takes, right? And kind of crazy. Now the Springfield Cardinals, they start playing around against the Wichita team. I can't remember what the Wichita name is.
I don't remember. They're
It's-
not the Ramblers, are they?
I don't think Wind Surge is the Wind
Wind Surge? Not linemen.
No.
They'd have a whole song just ready for them if it was.
I think it's the Wichita Wind Surge.
Okay.
And they start this next series tomorrow.
Okay.
Now, Tuesday is going to be not the hottest day, but that series continues through Friday, and Friday's going to be back up to the mid-90s.
Yeah, but Tuesday, are we expecting the possibility of those pop-up and scattered showers and storms?
Yes, we sure are.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
I wonder if there'd be a way to test that, We got this nice weather pattern coming in. Will they hit the balls farther Friday versus tomorrow?
I don't know that. I don't know if you can measure that because
there's
it's
a lot
like
of factors at play.
on a dry day you may be stronger. You don't know. It's
Maybe.
I don't know. I don't know how you would quantify that.
I guess we'd have to get maybe a batting cage kind of set up, one of those automatic pitchers.
Yeah,
That
and
might
an
be the
automatic.
only way.
Well, and an automatic batter.
Yes.
Like in golf, they have the iron Byron, and it hits the ball. Boom. That's how they test golf balls. How the way they
sure.
fly and everything.
Yeah.
If you had something like that for baseball, you have to keep all of the conditions the same. It has to be controlled. The bat, the swing, the angle, everything on both sides of the equation have to remain constant in order to measure, I guess, the variable, which would be the humidity of the air.
All right. Interesting stuff. Yeah, you're right. So that would be the one thing that had to be constant would be the batter's swing.
And the pitcher's throw.
And the pitcher's throw, which would be kind of challenging without some kind of automation involved.
Yeah, unless it was hit it off of a tee. Like kids play t-ball. If you just teed it up and you have the same swing constantly, maybe you could, test it that way.
Yeah, that would certainly eliminate some factors to it. Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, good stuff.
Yeah.
Kind of counterintuitive. That's what we like to do here on Talking with Tom is twist things around.
Yeah,
It might not make sense.
Yeah, well, and it's true because everybody says when it's humid, oh, it's not going to fly as far. This air is heavy.
Yeah, it feels heavy.
Yeah. Well, it's heavier when there's no moisture, actually.
Yeah, kind of wild. You think if it's drier, you'd be able to go further. Is it kind of the same principle as with airplanes? If it's hot and dry, the air is less dense, and they can't take off on a shorter runway. They need a longer runway.
I can recall times like in Phoenix where they have to shut the airport.
They have to close down the airport.
Yeah, because the planes they don't have enough lift.
No.
They could drive to Dallas, but they can't fly there.
Right. I'd love to see that. Jumbo jet driving down.
Yeah, I'd like to see that in your rearview mirrors.
I wonder if it's the same principle that carries over. It's got to do with density
Right.
of the air.
It does.
I guess it would make sense.
I guess hot and humid, even less dense.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
More
it's the heat to humidity ratio, I
Sure.
guess, that you'd have to look at. But I mean, if you get up to, I recall it happening when it got up to about 120 degrees
Oh, sure.
in Phoenix. I guess it doesn't make any difference if it's humid or dry. The molecules of air aren't close enough. It has nothing to lift from, bite into.
Well, maybe not. Yeah. I mean, if it was 120 degrees and, let's say a dew point of, gosh, would that be 90?
Yeah.
100, that'd be some pretty good humidity.
That would, but is it pretty good if it's the temperature of 120?
I don't know. Good question.
Well, if it's 90%
sure.
relative humidity, then
There'd
of
be
course.
more molecules in the air floating around.
Yeah, but they're lighter than air.
Lighter than air. So it may not provide the foundation needed to get an airplane off the ground.
Yeah, yeah. That's what you don't want to find when you're doing, however fast their takeoff is, and you go, yeah, I can't get this thing up in the air. We're gonna drive. It's setting the nose down. We'll be in Dallas in 8 hours.
Thanks for choosing our flight today.
Yes. Wave to people in the cars.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, well. Well, good deal. Very good. Kind of interesting. Now, do you ever go out to any of the Springfield Cardinals games?
I've gone to a few there, especially their first season. I got some tickets in the Roost.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because that was a good deal because you got a bunch of, like free snacks and stuff. You've paid for it all ahead of time. And you're up in the I was up on the left field side, up on the upper deck, and it was very nice.
Yeah. It's really not a bad stadium. Now, when did they build that?
I don't know.
Would it have been 20 years ago?
Yeah, it could have been. It could have been.
Somewhere in there.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm not really good at remembering dates. I can tell you, yep, that happened back then. And all my kids were still young enough that they lived at home.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so that would, be 20 some years ago.
Okay. Yeah. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we convinced a friend that they brought that we all do the wave, and we got him to go, woo, and nobody else did. We all stood there and went, what are you doing?
You silly.
Yes, I'm noted for that at times.
Well, that's why we have you around here, Tom, so you can feel the silliness.
That's it.
Okay. In something else, we got a viewer to send in a picture, and I'd never actually seen this myself.
Okay.
What we're talking about is something called cloud iridescence.
All right.
You ever seen it in person? Like, I've seen plenty of pictures of it, but never actually caught it myself.
I mean, I want to say that I have.
Yeah.
I know it's not a sundog.
No.
It's not crepuscular rays. It's
No,
not
no.
things like that. I want to say that I have, but I can't say for sure.
All right.
It's one of those things where have I seen it? But it's I know it's unusual and it's
It is.
pretty.
It is pretty. And so here's what it does, folks. We're looking at a picture from Amy. This was in Rogersville. She took this picture yesterday. This is from Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
And there you have it. We talk about cloud iridescence. We're basically talking about that little rainbow spot in the cloud hole. And typically you'll find these on the edges of clouds, usually coming over the top of the cloud versus the bottom of the cloud.
Mm-hmm.
But it's all about the movement of light. We all know, Roy G. Biv,
Right.
the color spectrum of the visible light that we can see.
Mm-hmm.
And when there's a cloud blocking the sun, that light has to then go around the cloud and then through the water vapor also around the edges of the cloud. And it's that process called diffraction, when it's to kind of bend around an object or through an object.
Mm-hmm.
That creates this little rainbow phenomenon that you see occasionally that I've never seen before.
Yeah.
But it's pretty. It really is a sight to see. This picture is a pretty good one.
That is, and I have never seen something like that.
Yeah,
I
it's coming
I
through a
can say
hole.
exactly. I'm pretty sure I can say for certain I would have gone, what in the world? Because it's not like those other things, like I mentioned, a sundog. You can see what I believe are crepuscular rays there. Those straight, it looks like rays of the sun shining down through the clouds.
Yes, right.
But that's not the same thing as what we're seeing on the picture, where you have that rainbow effect. That's another phenomenon that you just go, how nice.
Exactly. Just something to sit back and admire and just look at and be like, wow.
Yes. It's not a harbinger of anything bad to come.
No,
No.
it's good stuff. Pretty picture though. But it was, I love it when people send stuff like that because because then I have to go and look it up myself and try to find an answer and just kind of confirm that I've got it right. Or in some cases, I may not know. I'll see something and be like, wow, how does that work? And it's fun. It's fun having to learn new information all the time.
I agree. And there are many things that, you've gone to school, I've gone to school for things like this, but when you see an example, sometimes you go, well, and then you stop and you go, is that what I think? And that's, again, you go back to the books and things like that, and you confirm, okay, yes, I know what that is.
Oh, yeah.
But it's always good when you go, oh, no, I didn't know that. Because that's what science is about. You learn something.
Yeah.
And any kind of atmospheric phenomenon that's always interesting to dig into. What's going on? It
is. And, I can remember a time back in Kansas working in Topeka. This lady had sent a picture of, it was a cloudy day.
Uh-huh.
All right. And it was kind of chilly. I think it was sometime in the fall or the spring, something like that. It was probably 50 degrees.
Okay.
Cloudy skies. No rain, nothing like that. But this lady sent a picture, and in the distance, not too far distance, but just a couple miles out, you could see this funnel that looked like it was coming down out of the cloud.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, "Wow, what is this? Was this a tornado? What is this going on here?" And so my first response was, "Oh my gosh, that's a cold air funnel.
Right.
It's got to be a cold air funnel."
Yeah.
So I sent that back and did this whole on-air thing, like, "Oh, look at this cool thing we found." And then I confirmed with my chief afterwards, and he said, "I think that's actually the steam coming off the power plant that's out there in that direction."
Yeah.
And so sometimes you get a little eager also in thinking, "Oh wow, look at this," and then it turns out that's not quite exactly.
You do. But that's what happens. You make an
Yeah.
observation and you go, I believe it's that. Well, until someone says, no, that's actually that, it is true, which is what science is about also.
Yeah.
They say, this is why that happens. And they find out 30 years later, no, that's not right. But up until then, that's what it is.
Yeah.
They find out it's wrong, they change it. They don't keep it the same. At that point, that takes over.
Yeah. I mean, there are times it's trial and error, even when you're just trying to identify what you're seeing in the sky. Someone could easily look at this picture of the cloud iridescence of the rainbow and think, "Oh, that's a sundog."
Right.
Like you're saying, it'd be easily mistaken as that.
It could
Unless
be.
you knew that, there's actually something else called cloud iridescence.
There's always something else.
Always.
Always. That's why it's not Zeus who makes the lightning. We found out that's not the way it goes.
No. And, the common saying, and when you're talking about any kind of weather event, it's always, well, usually this is what happens.
Mm-hmm.
Usually this is the case.
Mm-hmm.
Because you might be as certain as you can be, but you can still be wrong
Oh, yeah.
in what the actual cause is.
But when you find out you're wrong, you change.
Yeah.
You don't stick to the wrong. You move to what is right. I mean, that when you hear the word theory,
Yeah.
we tend to use that word wrong. We think that if something is a theory, that, oh, well, we haven't proven it. It's just, that's what I think. A theory and what you think are two different things.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's
big time.
the theory of gravity. There is still research to be able to prove where it comes from, but do you want to bet that it's wrong? I mean, I'm not going to jump out of a third-story window to prove it's wrong.
No.
No.
No, we've seen that done.
Yeah.
We don't need to go.
So,
do that.
yes, there are a lot of things called the theory of. That doesn't mean it's unproven. That means there is more work that can be done. But up till this point, this is a proven, instance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's another thing about the weather. I mean, there's so much. It's a big physics equation. The atmosphere is, and so
Sure. That all the variables keep changing.
all the variables continuously change, like a river.
Yes.
Water constantly
That's it,
flowing
exactly.
over one area. The atmosphere is the same way, constantly changing, ripples here and there that can cause changes down the line.
Mm-hmm.
I
I mean, the butterfly effect. The butterfly effect, in a sense, is correct.
Oh yeah.
Because if something does happen out in the Pacific, it may get to us and change our weather dramatically.
Sure. Yeah.
So that's that river you're talking about. And something little goes boop up here can be very big down here.
Sure. Yeah. So we can try to track it, but even though it is a science, it is still it's constantly changing. Variables and factors all over the place.
That is what science is about. You follow the trail.
Yeah.
You follow the observations. You follow the evidence. And you arrive at the theory,
Right.
which up to that point, that theory, if you have followed everything properly, is
Sure.
fact. It's fact as we know it.
Yeah, sure. You form your hypothesis and
Right.
get your end statement, your conclusion at the end,
Yeah.
based on what you know
Yes.
has happened so far. Yeah. Well, very good. Tom, anything else on your mind this Monday morning?
I mean, there's nothing particularly on my mind. It's just, the constant thing with anyone who's a meteorologist and people talk to, out in public and everything.
Oh, yeah.
They it's the old joke of, boy, I wish I could be right 30% of the time and still get paid.
I
And
noticed over the years that number's gotten down 50%, 40%.
Yes.
Now it's 30%.
Yeah.
Wow.
But what you were speaking about before is, we're in a river, constantly changing. all the variables change, and they can change. Well, not they can. They do change from moment to moment. So every bit of data that you get, in the morning to put your forecast together, by the time you get it, it's all different.
Yeah.
And you have to look upstream. Well, that's different. So, it's a matter of time and movement and all of that. So I think if you get things in the 30 to 40% right category, you're not doing bad. You're not doing bad. I mean, I'll bet there are a lot of people who wish they could figure out what's going to go on with the river by observing it,
Sure.
thousands of miles away and however many feet deep.
Yeah.
So
I mean, all those other factors too. And there's just a lot.
yeah,
There's a lot.
yeah,
But you're right. We can do a pretty good job and get a general idea of what's coming. And I mean, the technology today, and you've talked about this a little bit in the past. I
Yeah.
mean, there's so much information. The observations are just everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Satellites, ground observations. It's an overwhelming amount of data. And thank goodness we have these supercomputers that are able to handle all this data. Because it's a lot. And sometimes, an overwhelming amount of data can be a blessing and a curse.
Sure.
It can be too much to where it just tries to,
Well, you're overwhelmed.
It's just too much. You might get the wrong outcome.
Yeah. It's just like constantly saying, yeah, but, yeah, but, yeah, but, yeah, but, yeah, but.
Exactly.
And that's how it kind of works is that data changes. Oh, it's going to rain. Yeah, but this says, yeah, but that says, as that moves into now, and it's good. And not trying to defend and saying, oh, aren't they wonderful or anything. It's just that's kind of the way that things work when you're doing meteorology.
Yeah.
And I would assume a lot of other jobs, oceanography, geology, all of those things constantly change, and you don't always have a lead pipe cinch on this stuff.
No, I mean even something like economics.
Yeah.
I mean, trying to forecast the stock market, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you knew how it was going to play out, we'd all be millionaires
Oh, I'd be a billionaire.
or a billionaire. Yes.
I always said if I could figure out the stock market, everybody would be working for me.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Man, kind of the same kind of deal.
Yeah.
Man. All right. Well, Tom, this week we're going to be featuring some spotty rain showers,
Yeah.
like we're saying, today through Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get hot again. It's still August,
Yeah, exactly. We're in the middle of summer right now.
Pretty
We're
much.
not even through summer.
No.
And they're already bringing out pumpkin spice.
Did
I'm
you
sorry.
see that?
I
No
didn't
kidding.
want to say that. I didn't want to say it. I'm sorry. It's just I apologize.
Yeah, Krispy Kreme donuts,
It's August. Yeah.
pumpkin spice.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, we've got a lot of summer to go through, and the pop-up showers, and you don't need a cold front right now.
No, not really.
You might need a cold front to get widespread,
Yeah, absolutely.
but if it has this humidity and you have that heat, that air is rising constantly. And depending on the ground around you, that can make it rise a little more.
Yes, yeah.
We have elevation changes. All of those things come into play. So all of a sudden, out of nowhere, boom, there's a thunderstorm.
Yeah.
That's how it happens a lot of times.
In the afternoons, that's what we're looking at now. In this case, there is a front.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's not going to bring any cold air.
It's nothing strong. No.
No.
A little shift in wind direction for a while.
Yeah, if that.
Yeah.
That's kind of how it's going. Just kind of
Oh,
drifting through. And then,
That's when you go,
Fading
oh,
away.
that was a nice breeze. Well, oh, where did it go?
yeah,
And it's gone.
What happened?
Yeah.
Where'd my breeze go?
There was fall.
Yeah. That's what we're looking at. And looking at the outlook of August, it is kind of looking fairly normal.
Yeah.
So, I mean, some years you can tell it's going to be, cooler or warmer than normal. This year it's looking like it's just going to be, same old, same old.
Does normal stay the same, though?
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
no. I would say, because you could technically get normal if you had, let's say, 2 weeks of cooler than normal weather followed by 2 weeks of warmer than normal weather. If they equal each other out, you'd have a normal August.
Right.
Although that may not have been the case.
I also heard a good question, and I hope I don't rile anybody with this.
No, go ahead.
Don't ask, do you believe in climate change? Instead, ask, Do you understand what climate change is?
Understand what climate change is.
Those are two different things.
Well, yeah, it is. It would be two different things. Interesting.
But that's what I'm also referring to as far as normal. We keep getting this stuff thrown in that isn't normal, but seems to becoming the norm.
Sure.
You know?
It's normal weather.
Yeah.
The weather patterns.
Yes.
Throw a wrench into the averages all the time.
Yeah. I mean, how much more flooding have we gotten this year?
A lot. Now, this year seems like an exception.
Okay. Is it an exception? Well, but we have to wait to find out.
Yes. We got to go back and actually look at the facts and what the data says. The numbers don't lie, right?
Yeah. It's not the way you feel.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I've never seen flooding like this before. Maybe so, but that doesn't mean anything in the grand scheme. Yes.
That's true. And speaking of flooding, there's a lot of big-time flooding up in Wisconsin.
Yes.
Over the weekend.
Milwaukee. They had to close, I think, the last day of the Wisconsin Fair because of it.
Yeah.
I think so.
It's pretty rough flooding. That's just another major flooding event. It's been big.
Yeah, well, they've had flooding in New York.
Yeah. Of course, New Mexico again.
Yes.
Texas.
Well, yes, Texas.
Big time, yeah. North Carolina had flooding earlier this year also.
Yeah.
Yeah, big time. Of course, we here locally, we've seen our fair share of flooding back in the spring.
Oh, sure we did.
Yeah.
We just, I mean, that the rain we got was ridiculous. Mm-hmm. You know, it's like where you have to wear flippers just to walk in your front yard.
Right. Go fishing right on Main Street.
Yeah,
pretty much,
that was about it. That was about it.
And now hard to believe we've gone over 20 days without rain.
And it's been steamy.
It's been hot.
Yeah. It's been hot because it has been dry at times where you go, okay, I can take this.
Yeah.
Outside of maybe direct sunlight where it feels like it's,
sure,
burning you to a crisp.
Well, we were talking, this weekend, Saturday was 98 degrees.
Yeah.
And that's hot, but it wasn't, 98 degrees and felt like 110.
No.
It felt like maybe 100 degrees.
Yeah.
So
a little humid, but when you start getting up close to 100, after that point, it doesn't make it. It's like it was 562 degrees. Who cares? It's hot.
Yeah, it's hot.
And it's so stay inside.
Man, funny. Well, Tom.
Yeah.
I think that wraps. We've been talking for almost 30 minutes now.
Good grief.
Talking with Tom. I know we always go longer, which is just fine. We'll keep cranking them out. And once a week, we'll produce these little shows for you, talking with Tom for as long as we can. And for the time being, though, happy Monday. Enjoy the week. If you like the sun and the heat, there'll be some more coming later on in the week. Happy Monday.
Have a good week.